statement necklace using Zola elements. So if you're not familiar with Zola elements, they are these really cool components that we have here at Art Beads, and I'm going to hold one of them up. This is one we're going to be using as a focal piece. Now this pattern is called Tide Pool, which is, I think, my favorite color pattern. It comes in a bunch of different colors. There's even ones that have like wood and acetate and just really cool pieces, like shapes and colors. And it always reminds me of like a vintage tortoiseshell. There's also like tortoiseshell ones. So there's a lot of fun color combos of these and different shapes too. And they're really lightweight, which is nice for making jewelry. And they also have really nice finished edges. So I kind of wanted to show you as we're at this angle, because I think with the light that's kind of shining through them right now, you can see how cool they look. So I have a bunch of different pieces to show you. We are going to incorporate this one into a focal necklace. And then I have a bunch of other ones in the shopping cart. And I know Michelle is in the background with Eric, and they have links to all of the Zola, because we're also having a really special 2-day only sale. So today and tomorrow, of 35% off of all Zola elements. And even some of the ones in my show are on clearance for even more than that. So it's a great time to pick up some of these. And I see Susanna and Denise and Tanya. Hello, guys. It is good to be here on this Wednesday playing. I always feel like we get to come and play. Hello, Kat and Piper. Hi, guys, and Hazel. All right, we're gonna have fun with Zola. And I see Julie's here from rainy and snowy Colorado. Oh my gosh. Denise is here and Santa Barbara girl. Shirley, hello. Snow in Colorado in May. Is that normal? It feels very, very cold. I'm in Southern California right now, and we are like the perfect weather right now. It's gonna be 70s, but in 2 days, we're gonna be in the 90s. Which is a little too hot for me. So it's just crazy how the weather is so different in different parts of the country, of course, different parts of the world too. All right, guys, I want to start designing because I had a lot of fun with this necklace. It felt very boutique-y to me, and I actually was making it to match a dress I'm going to wear to a wedding in a couple weeks in Seattle. So I was playing with blues and greens and golds, which is a fun thing to do if you are making jewelry. You can sometimes make it to match a special occasion dress or bridesmaid jewelry, bridesmaid dresses, proms. Always fun to have a theme. Okay, I'm gonna flip my camera down. Oh my gosh, and Denise is saying we had snow in Connecticut a few days ago and today is 70. Wow, that's a big shift. Okay, here we go, guys. There's my backyard. So it is gonna be in the 70s today here. Like I said, we're about to be too hot, but we had rain the last like 3-4 days, which is unusual for us. So we had some rain, which was really nice. And all my flowers are blooming and happy as can be. Hello, Lynn. And Angie, hello. It's in the 50s in Utah. Okay, so here's what we're going to make. I'm going to show you guys what we're going to make, and then I'm going to tell you what we're going to use. And don't forget, the Zola is 35% off for these 2 days. So a really great time to pick up Zola. Okay, so this is kind of like a faux layered necklace in that it almost looks like you've got 2 necklaces happening, but is all connected. So we're going to do some tassels down at the bottom. We're going to combine a few, I'll separate this one out. We're going to combine a few pieces of Zola right here. We're going to be using 2 different types of chain. We're going to be using these pieces here as our kind of another focal as we work our way up. So we're really going with kind of a gold, sunshiny yellow and nice green feel. I was pulling out the colors of the Tide Pool. So I like to design sometimes color palettes around the focal. So I was thinking that this here was my focal. So I was just pulling out all the colors from it, which was a really easy way to get a color palette. And then I was just making my own beaded chain with these beads. These are check glass. And then I did some more chain. And then up here, I did just my own check glass chain work using some 24 gauge wire. I'll show you how to do that. And then I have this as just a slip over your head necklace. Oh, thank you guys for the hearts. Now I did add to the shopping cart a couple clasp options, a magnetic and a toggle if you're not a fan of the slip over the neck necklaces. So you have a couple options. This is 24 inches when you are done with it. So it can go over the head if you choose to do it like this, or you can easily add a clasp. Oh, thank you, Santa Barbara girl. Yes, my dress is blue. It's a dark blue, kind of like lacy eyelet dress to wear to the wedding. So I thought having some green and kind of the sunshine color would pop against the dark blue. And then I'm going to make myself some matching earrings too, but this will be fun. Couple quick notes. I forgot to kind of talk about how this works for anyone who's joining us for the first time. The little heart button gives me little floating hearts that kind of go like this. They just go up my screen, which is really fun. And then there's a little arrow icon, which lets you share. And then there's a shopping bag icon, which has everything you see here already in the cart. So like all of these items here too, not in the cart, in the shopping bag. So you don't have to wait for Michelle and Eric to pop up a banner. You can just see it all right away. And this is my treasure mat. This is one of my favorite tools. This is a little mat we have here at Art Beads, and it has these little cubbies, which are so nice. So we've got that. Okay, a couple other Zola elements. So these here are the pieces that we'll use for up top, so it's kind of up top there. And then I wasn't using these, but I wanted to show them. These are Tide Pool as well. And they're really nice little components. So if you didn't want that sunshiny yellow. And then they also come in green. Now, as you're ordering these, do note that these kind of look the same, but some have no holes, no third hole. So they've got the holes up here, but they don't have a third hole down here, and some do. So kind of pay close attention to that. Same thing with these like coins. Some of the Zolas have 2 holes, and some just have 1. So just kind of pay attention when you're looking at the different items to see if they have the right holes for what you want. So, and there's a lot more Zola as well. Then we're going to be using a couple tassels. I love this gold one. I think we're down to 5 of these. This was really kind of not a lot of this one left. So that's just a quick heads up about that one. And then I have these green tassels as well. Oh, hello, BJ. Okay, and then we've got pretty beads to play with too. Yeah, it was really fun to make this necklace and pick out the colors. I really enjoyed all of these colors. And then I found, which I thought was perfect, there's this little 4mm check glass bead here that's 2-tone. And the 2 tones are perfect to go with the Tide Pool. So these kind of got like a topaz and a green for it as well. So I thought that was kind of neat having that mottled look. Now, I also have 2 sizes of jump rings. So I've got a little 4mm, and I think that this is a 5. I think I put a 5 in there. Both work. The 5 is a little easier to get on and off, but if you want it to be a little bit sleek, a little more sleek and not see the jump ring as much, the 4 will work. And we're going to be using 24 gauge artistic wire. And I think that's it. Oh, and we have 2 types of chain. We have a little Rolo chain, which is one of my favorites. And then I have another little chain right here too. And Michelle is saying she likes the pearl white Zola pieces. I like the pearl white too. There's also one that's like completely clear with like gold leafing inside of it, like gold specks. And I really like that one too. So there's some really pretty Zolas. I like the wood and the wood pieces as well. They're like half wood and then half this cool stuff. All right, and then just our normal tools. We rarely need more than our normal tools, which is what I love about jewelry making is 95% of everything I make, I can make with just my regular tool set here. So 2 pairs of chain nose pliers, wire looping pliers, and my cutters. And that's it, guys. All right, so what I did is, since I made this guy ahead of time, I don't usually, actually, maybe half the time I make something ahead of time and half the time I don't. On this one, I did cut myself 1 little extra piece of chain so I would know the length of it because I'm going to count this one, I need 6 equal lengths of chain here, and I'm going to pre-cut those. Oh, Sharon's saying those Xuron chain nose are my faves. They're my faves too. They have such a nice, fine point to them. I really love these, and they're really lightweight. I think I started out my jewelry making journey having some pretty heavy, clunky tools. And ever since then, I've just so valued and appreciated tools that are really lightweight and easy to hold. Okay. So this length here is just a smidge over 1.5 inches. I should have cut it to like 1.5 or 2 inches exactly. Let me show you guys. I have my sewing measuring tape right here. Okay, so this one here, if I lay this down and I put it right against the edge, it's just like 2 chain links beyond 1.5 inches. So I think you would be fine if you just made it 1.5 inches. If you wanted a little longer necklace, you can make it 2 inches. And you need six lengths. So in that case, you're still going to be able to do it with just 1 foot of chain. Okay, so Sharon is saying if we wanted to make a similar necklace, how much of the chain would we need? Similar so if you wanted to make this exact necklace, you will need 1 foot of the 2 millimeter chain and 1 foot of the other chain. So really good question. Yes, so both can be done with just 1 foot of each. And what we're doing is we're getting our extra length to make it a 24-inch necklace by doing our custom wire wrapping here to make our own check glass chain right here, because we're going to build this out ourselves using wire. But really good question. Okay. All right, so to cut equal chain lengths, you could count each link. You could put it against a ruler, or my little trick is take a little head pin and you're going to put the last end chain link on it. And you're going to go ahead and just let gravity kind of hold that down, line it up, and cut. And now we've got 2 equal chain lengths. And we need a total of 6 for this design here. So we're just going to do that enough times. We're going to do that 4 more times so we have all of our chain lengths cut, and then we'll know they're even. This is my favorite little trick for cutting chain, especially small chain. Now here's a good point too. There's a little cut piece of chain right there from the link. You want to make sure you just kind of pull that off, or if you need to cut another link off, you can, but you want it to be what I call clean, where it's just the link itself. Oh, and Piper's saying she uses the head pin method to cut chain too. It's very handy. Oh, hello, Debbie. We are doing a Zola Elements statement necklace today. All right, so we've got 3 pieces of chain. Now we have 4. And with this chain, it is leaving those little scraps, so I'm just pulling those off. And 5. See if this one cut clean. It did. Yay. And our 6th piece of chain. And the other chain we don't need to cut. We're going to use it as its entire 1 foot length. Okay, so we got our 6 pieces of chain. So what we're going to do is we are now going to kind of work a little bit backwards, or I should say, maybe I should say from the bottom up. So to begin with, we are going to start by connecting 2 of our Zola pieces together. Now, like I said, I used 4 millimeter jump rings some of the time, and some of the times I used the bigger jump rings. If it is a little bit trickier to do the 4 millimeters, I think I'm going to make life easy on myself and just do a slightly bigger one. But the 4s do work if you want the jump rings to not be as noticeable. Okay, so we're going to open up a jump ring. And we're going to slip it through our Zola piece. It's got that nice pre-drilled hole, which is really cool. Okay, close our jump ring. Okay, we're going to do another jump ring. It's always nice that jump rings come in big packs, so you know you've got plenty to work with. Okay, and we're going to put it through this one. And the Zola pieces are a little too thick to get both pieces through one single jump ring. So I had to add a jump ring to each of them and then connect them with a jump ring. Oh, thanks for the hearts, guys. I really love this necklace. It feels very wearable to me. Like certain jewelry you make and you just feel like, I'm going to wear that a lot, especially with summer coming. Okay, so we're just going to put our jump ring through our previously attached jump rings and close it on up. And Zola is beautiful on all sides, so there is not a right side or a wrong side. And there we go. So there is our focal necklace. And because we did this how we did it, it's going to hang forward, which is what we want. Okay, so now what we're going to do is we are going to take another jump ring. What's the difference between the two tassels? Ooh, good question. Let me put this jump ring in and then I'll pick them up and I'll show you for sure. All right, another jump ring in, and we're gonna connect this to our end chain link like so. So that's now connecting a piece of chain to it. Okay, so let me hold up the two tassels. I put both of them on here. You don't have to. You could choose one. You could choose none too. Okay, so this one here has a gold like barrel cap and is kind of metallic-y and shiny. I want to say it's like a rayon or something. This is more of like a cotton. This one's a little softer and it just has the jump ring pre-attached to it. So both have a way of connecting. They just look different. But they're about, I'd say they're about the same size though. So they don't really have much of a size difference, just kind of a different aesthetic for them. Great question though. Okay, I'm going to do this on the other side as well. So then I've got two chains connected. And I'm just looking for my opening. It's got to be here somewhere. I run my fingernail along the top of it until it catches. And that lets me know where the opening is. So I can put the opening up front. Same thing on this side. And we're going to attach one of these pre-cut lengths of chain. We're going to try to attach. This is something I tend to do a little closer up to my glasses. So when I'm doing it on camera, it's kind of like threading a needle, where it's a little bit further away than I'm used to. Yeah, I particularly like the gold tassel too, Piper. I like how shiny it is. It's got that nice little metallic thread in it. Okay, so here we go. This is what we've got so far. So here we go. And you could see that if you just wanted something a little bit simpler, you could order 2 feet of this little Rolo chain right here, connect it the exact same way, and that would be your necklace. You could just do something really simple like that, and it would still be very beautiful. I kind of went a little bit, more elaborate here, but I think there's something to be said that sometimes really simple and elegant is a great way to go too. And I think this would be a beautiful piece just with 2 feet of the little Rolo chain, and this is your focal. Okay, so now we're going to make our first little beaded piece. So what we're going to do is we're going to take some of our chain. Or not chain, sorry guys, not some chain. I have not had enough coffee. We're going to take some of our wire. This is 24 gauge wire. I'm going to cut about 2.5 inches. And we're going to be making some wrapped wire loops. So we're going to be grabbing our wire looping pliers. And we're going to grab it about 3/4 of an inch from the end of it. Probably more like 3/4 will be fine. Okay, we're going to squeeze, push down, rotate up, crisscross. But we don't want to put our wrapping, we don't want to do our wrappings just yet because we need to link this to the chain. So to link it to the chain, you're going to notch it out a little. Grab the chain end that's already, the other end of the chain that's already connected because we're working our way up the necklace. Slide it down so it latches in there. So it kind of just sits in that little well. And then you do a couple wraps, however many you feel comfortable with. Do at least one for sure, but I know some people really like to do 2, some people do 3. Do whatever you like, but that is not going anywhere. We're going to trim that wire end, tuck in our little tail so it doesn't catch on our dress. Okay, and now for this one, I'm going to add one of these little 4mm 2-color beads. And I love the comments about the pearls. Yes, pearls are beautiful. And then in this case, I'm going to add a green bead here, right here. So a really pretty emerald colored bead. And then I'm going to add another little 2-color bead. Okay. And now we're going to create a wrapped wire loop on the other side. And again, before we do our wrappings, we need to link in a piece of chain. That's why we pre-cut all those chains to start with, is so that they would be ready just to be picked up and we wouldn't have to put our work down and pause what we're doing. Okay, so make sure that's latched into that little loop. Go back with your very nice fine nose zurons if you've got them. They're perfect for this because you see how they're so fine that they're able to hold that loop, but they're not actually touching the chain or the area that you need to do your wrappings. Oh, thanks, Santa Barbara girl. These are my colors. These are definitely my colors that I love. I have a couple other lives planned and I picked out my colors again. So you're going to see some more greens. I have an orange coming up. Like, I love these colors. All right, so that's what we've got here. And now we need to do it on the other side as well. So we're just making your necklace match. So let's go ahead and get a little bit more wire. Same process. So it's kind of nice when we're doing 2 sides of the necklace because you get to see each step twice. Okay, so now the other side. Okay, latch it on there. And then grab it. Okay, trim, tuck. Oh, Denise is saying the 5mm jump rings are gone already. Is there a close substitute? I am going to let Michelle see if she can find something. And Michelle, a 6mm would work as well. So I'll give her that little hint as she's looking for a substitute. Okay, so there we go. Now the 4s did work too. They were just a little tighter, so they look a little smaller, and you sometimes have to wiggle them a little bit more just because they are smaller. They're not quite as easy to get through everything, but they do work. Okay, so now we're going to notch this one up. Grab our other piece of cut chain. And Michelle is awesome there in the background. We're so lucky to have Michelle because she can do the searching and the links, and she is a jewelry maker as well. So it's always so wonderful to have her here to help us. Okay, pinch that. Latch around, loop around, I should say. Trim. And then I'll show you guys what we have so far because we're just building this as we go. Okay, so now this is what we've got. Okay, so this is what we've built thus far. So now what we're going to do is we are going to attach. I'm going to look at how I built this. Okay, I see what I did. All right, I'm going to attach a jump ring and close it. So what you can do is you can add this extra chain right now, or you can add this one at the end. I think I want to add it at the end so I don't have it kind of bouncing around as I'm working up my way on my necklace. I think it'll be easier that way. And I think when I made the sample piece, I did that too. It was kind of like, oh, can I put an extra something here with the tassels? So we're going to build this without, and then we'll add it to it. Okay, so now we're just going to attach a jump ring and close it. And we're going to do the same on the other side. And attach it. And I love this little Rolo chain. This is probably my most used chain. In part, well, I like how it looks, but I also like that it's easy to get jump rings through. Because if you've ever worked with a chain that's hard to get jump rings through, it's very hard. Okay, and then what we're going to do is we're going to now attach these pieces right here. And you see that they've each got 2 little holes. So they're going to be oriented like this. And they're going to kind of sit up a little bit on your neck just to add some more interest to the piece. So now what we'll do is we'll attach these with a jump ring. My jump ring is upside down. Okay, so we're just going to loop it through and then attach on the jump ring you already secured. And close it. Same thing on the other side. And thank you for everyone who's trying to help with the sound issue. I see those comments. I always want to help, but I also know that if I'm talking and the person has no sound, it does no good to hear me talking, which is something I don't think I realized when I first started having a few audio issues. Okay, so now this one is on. Okay, so now we've got these focals. So here's our necklace thus far. And now what we're gonna do is I'm gonna look at my pattern here. Okay, so what I think I'll do is I'm not gonna worry about this tassel part right now. So now what we need is a little longer piece of our wire. So do about 4 inches or so. I'd give yourself about 4 inches on this one. And what we're gonna do is we're gonna create here. What we wanna do is we wanna go ahead and create 1 loop that's in its entirety. So go ahead and just make a regular wrapped wire loop on this one. So that one is right like that. You just have your wrappings. Now we're going to add, and I found these and I really liked them, to add just a little bit of extra gold between your beads. These are really tiny little spacer beads. So I think those are really kind of a fun little guy to just add a little extra interest. So we're going to start with adding 1 of those, followed by 1 of these pretty light topaz-y colored beads. I'm just going to call it like sunshine because it looks like sunshine to me. And then wait, stop. And then we're going to do another spacer. I'm like, wait, stop. And then we're going to do an emerald, another spacer. And you can play with this pattern, whatever you like, whatever looks pleasing to your eye. Don't feel like you have to stick with what I'm doing. I just was having a lot of fun coming up with little combos. Okay, and then we're going to add one more little spacer. So this is what we've got for this sequence. And you see how that little bit of gold just adds a little something extra to the design. All right, so now what we're going to do is we're going to create a wrapped wire loop, but we need to link our last, well, not last, we've got 2 pieces of cut chain left. We're going to add one of them to it. Yeah, the daisy spacers are something that I always forget exist. I feel like they're one of the oldest, most, I don't know, like most used jewelry components, but I always forget that we have them. And then when I discover them again, I'm kind of like a squirrel, like, oh, wow, we have these. Okay, last piece of chain, or not last, second to last, but last piece on this side is probably what my brain is thinking. We're going to put that into the little loop. Close it on up, do your wrappings, and trim, and tuck. Okay. There we go. And now we need to attach this to this element right here via a jump ring. That's why we were able to create that closed wrapped wire loop to begin with on that segment, because we knew we were going to go back and attach it with a jump ring. Okay, so we're going to go right here, put it through the hole, add your little wrapped wire loop. And that wrapped wire loop is very secure. And so you know that's not going to come undone. Close your jump ring. And so I think what I'm going to do, because we got a bit of wire wrapping to do to get up to the neck area, I'm just going to do one side, get to the middle point, and then show you guys how to add the second chain and the tassel, because it's going to be a lot of repetition if we build out this side too. And we do have the finished example that we can look at too, because it is a bit of wire wrapping along this back neck area, which is going to be really pretty when you wear it, especially if you have your hair up. So I'm going to lay this down flat. I'm going to show you what all of this looks like right here. So the midway point, my middle one, is this bead right here. This is what's at the back of your neck with those daisy spacers. And so we have to build out these chain links on each side. So I think that that's going to be probably the best way to do it in the live, so we don't have so much repetition and we can get on to the other techniques as well. So the first one we're going to do is going to be a little 4mm bead, the emerald, and a 4mm, followed by a little 4mm on its own, followed by one of the light topazzy sunshiny colors. So here I'm going to lay this down so I can refer to it as we go. It's always nice when you have a sample. Definitely makes it a little easier to see what you're doing. Okay, so now we're going to cut a length, about 2.5 inches, a couple inches is going to be fine. And on each of these, we need to connect it to the previous item first. And for anyone who joined us beyond the very beginning, we are having a special 2-day only Zola Element sale of 35% off, which is awesome. And I know some of these items are also on clearance at even more than that. So a great time to pick up some Zola Elements. It's just today and tomorrow. Okay, so here we go. We latch that little guy in. And this necklace is not going to come apart. It's going to have lots of nice little secure wrappings. Okay, so we're going to do the little 4mm. And an emerald. And you could be putting more daisy spacers in here too. If you like the look of the daisy spacers, you could always add more spacers. Okay, so there we go. And on this one, we are gonna create a finished wrapped wire loop right here that will allow us to connect the next segment to it. There you go. You got that little loop right there. Now we're just going to do a little single one, so you don't need quite as much wire. I still like having a bit of wire to work with. I just think it makes life easier, but you don't need quite as much because this is just going to be a little 4mm bead. And I love creating my own gemstone chain, my own check glass chain, my own pearl chain, crystal chain. Such an easy thing to do once you get the hang of it. And it's a nice way of really customizing your pieces. Okay, so linked on that guy. So will this pull or get stuck? Great question. So what I did to put this necklace on, because I have long hair too, I pulled my hair back into like a little ponytail, and then I kind of twisted it into a little bun, and then I pulled it on my neck. So it didn't get stuck or pull my hair when I did that. I do think if your hair wasn't like pulled back and secured to some degree, it might get a little caught up in the little grooves, because there's a lot of little grooves. But that's a really good question, Debbie. So yeah, I pulled my hair back and then I twisted it so the hair was a little bit more contained, and then I was able to do it. But I'm loving the long necklaces. You can also, if you don't want the pull over your head aspect, I put a couple clasps in the shopping bag there, a magnetic one, because I love magnetic, and this is lightweight enough that you can get away with a magnetic one for this necklace. Or you could do a little toggle clasp, and that's another option where you won't have to worry about pulling it over your neck. Over your head, I should say. And Daisy's saying she can't seem to put the jump rings in the basket. Oh no. Are they I know that we are out of stock on a couple on the 5mm. So if they're out of stock, I don't think you'll be able to add them to your basket, but I think Michelle was able to put a couple alternatives in there, if I'm correct. I think I saw she posted a couple other options. Okay, gonna add this one now. Okay, and then I'm gonna do the pretty sunshiny color. Now I think, I'm trying to read the comments as we go. Hi, Julie. Welcome. 6mm jump rings should work as well. And like I said, the 4mm do work also. So there's a couple other options. The 5mm are a nice size. I know you can sign up, I think, to be notified when they get back in stock, if you want to wait for them. But we do have a little wiggle room with the jump rings on this project. All right, so here we go. So here's as we're building it up. So this is what we've got so far. So we've got this down at the base with that pretty tide pool color, building it up, going to these nice Zola pieces. And now we're starting our linked chain. And I'm going to see what the next one is in my sequence. So the next one is going to be a little 4mm, followed by an emerald, a 4mm, and then our back center one. And this is the one you would replace with a clasp. So when we get to this one, all you would do to change it out is, instead of making this particular little bead segment, you would just finish off your little loop right here, and you would just add a jump ring and add your clasp of your choice to it. So that's a really easy way to convert this into a more traditional necklace that doesn't go over the neck. Yeah, Debbie, I hear you totally on that one. I have a little bit of an issue too with one of my arms going up and over, like extending it all the way up and over, or like into the back. So I totally hear you. Okay, so here we go. We're going to do this one. And this is just the same sequence. And then we'll add that front focal where we add the tassels to kind of do a layered look, a little faux layered look. Okay, so this is just now going to be a 4mm. So we're doing a 4mm between the bigger beads. There you go. Okay, now we need an emerald color bead. Add more of that green element. I was trying to balance out the colors so that we had that sunshine color and the green nice and spread out. Okay, and we're almost done with this because we're only going to do this half of it, but you would then do the other half yourself to finish off your necklace, of course. Okay, so now let's put this one in here. And the wire looping pliers are definitely coming in handy. And if you've been wanting to use your wire looping pliers and you picked them up, this is going to be some great practice. And by the time you're done with it, you are going to be a pro at your wire looping pliers. Okay, and we're going to put green on. And wrap it. And I definitely going to think of some fun earrings to match this too. I think that would be nice. Definitely it's going to have some tassels involved. I love earrings with tassels right now. Okay, so there we go. Just 2 more to get to our back center. So this is where we're at right here. And then we're going to do 1 more 4mm. And then this one here is the very center back. Okay, so thank you, Julie. I have made lots and lots of wrapped wire loops, but I wasn't always. My loops were terrible looking to begin with. I struggled with loops. I think I struggled with loops until I got my wire looping pliers. I think the round nose pliers just never really agreed with me. I think it was just a little extra step in there, and it just was a little challenging to make my loops look nice and uniform. Okay. All right, so this is where you would add your clasp. If you don't want this to slip over your head, you would stop here, and you've got this loop now ready, and you would just take a jump ring and add the jump ring to this loop and then add it to your clasp half. And that would be a way of being able to make this into a necklace that doesn't go over the head. I am going to do that back center bead because I like the going over your head. So I'm just going to take my wire. I have about 3 inches right here. And this is the back center. Crisscross. Okay, put this one on. And make my wraps. And And then the bead sequence for this is going to use those daisy spacers again, because I think you get a pretty big pack of them. Okay, so we're going to take 3 daisy spacers and another one of these yellow large beads. You can pick whatever bead you want, of course. And 3 more daisy spacers. So it kind of just gives a really interesting kind of textured look back there. So that is the back and that is the center. So you would just, I'm going to finish it off so it doesn't fall apart, but you would keep doing this how you built the other side of your necklace, just working in reverse. So your next bead sequence would be the little 4mm followed by the green and so forth, just working in reverse. But here is this back one, or the clasp, whichever one you choose. All right, so this here is our entire side length of it. Ooh, that's a great question. Sam Barber Girl is saying, do you ever put chain between your magnetic clasps as a safety chain? I haven't, but I love that idea. I've seen magnetic clasps that come with a safety chain, but I've never thought to put one myself, but I now want to. That's a great question and a great idea. Here you go. And so there's that side. So you just create the other side. Now, to make the little layered look, what we're going to do is, if we go back to our sample, we've got, let me pull this. So to untangle it, the easiest thing I found to do is just pull the 2 pieces apart. And then, so we've got these little tassels hanging off the other chain, and that other chain is just a little bit longer. So what we're going to be doing is we're going to take it, it's 1 foot of chain, and we are going to take 2 tassels. You can do 1, you can pick your favorite, whatever you like. Again, the whole thing with jewelry making is you can do whatever you like. There's no wrong way. So this is what I thought looked pleasing, but if you want 1 tassels, 2, 3, if you want a longer chain, a shorter chain, is up to you. Okay, so I'm going to go ahead and take my jump ring, another jump ring. Okay. Open it up. And link it through this little hole up here. There you go. And then link it onto your chain. Now, if you don't want your tassels to move around, you can link it into a chain link, or you can just put the chain like this and link it onto it. And you know what? I'm going to attach this chain first. I am going to backtrack. Okay, so we already have this part here. So what we're going to do is we're going to open up this jump ring that has the 1 chain already attached to it. And we're going to put in the end chain link of this cut piece of chain right here. So I'm going to find the opening because we don't need another jump ring up here. I mean, you could. I guess you could. Now that I'm looking at it, there would really be no harm in just adding, you know what, that might be easier. Let's do that. That seems easier to construct, to be honest. Okay. Sometimes we see little shortcuts or little things we can do differently when we go back and look at a design. Okay, so now we're just going to put this jump ring through a chain link. And I think that the little, so this is different size chain links. I think you have to cut off the small ones so you have a big link ready and available. So we're just going to put that through it. So there we've got that chain on there. Do the tassels come in silver? I don't think the ones with the jump ring do. The other ones might. That's a great question. I know Michelle can check that out. Okay, and then we're just going to put this right here. Oh, thanks, Janice. Yes, these are all saved. All of our live videos are saved. You can always go back and rewatch the replay, which is also great if you order the supplies and you want to make the necklace and have a refresher on how much to cut or the sequence. It's always nice that these are saved. Okay, so now we're going to do this. So we've got that attached to one side. We're going to now attach it to the other side with one more jump ring. Oh, good. Michelle is saying, yes, we have some with the silver cap. Great. Okay. Same thing here. Oops, I forgot I have to trim this chain. So I just have that nice big link waiting for the jump ring right there. Okay, so now we've got that. We attach it right here. Close it on up. Okay, so we've got that, and now we just have to add our tassels. So we already put this jump ring in here because I was going to do that first, but I'm just going to link it over my chain. Close it on up. Same thing with this one. Now this one does have a jump ring attached. If you do just string it onto the chain, it's going to sit like this. So you need to add another jump ring so it faces forward. And all of these items are there in that shopping bag, which is so handy. Okay. And then we're just going to put this one on. So we have like a little double tassel necklace. We are done. Okay, so you would have done the other half of your design right there, but this is how the front of it is. So you've got the two tassels that kind of sit over the Zola. So you can choose if you want to do that. If you want to, make this one longer, you can do whatever you like on this one. I kind of like them being layered like that because they pull out the colors, but you definitely can make it longer or shorter. And that is how we make this Zola Elements statement necklace. And then you got, of course, the back right here. It's really long to try to show, but there's a nice long necklace. It measures 24 inches. And again, really easy to customize it if you just want to have a clasp instead of it going over your neck. You can do that as well. And Zola Elements are just so fun. I love them. Oh, thank you guys. All right, I'm going to flip the camera up so I can say goodbye for this week. Let me do that real quick. How much chain do you think you used? Oh, great question. 1 foot of the Rollo and 1 foot of the other chain. So they're both sold by the foot and just 1 foot of each. Oh, it would be a nice St. Patrick's Day one. And then Michelle is saying if you have items in your cart, please remember to check out. Always a good reminder. Okay. Yay! My colors, oops, I think the partially done one is closest to me, but I love these colors too. So really fun. And then it's just going to hang nice and long. It's kind of going to be a nice long necklace and you'll be able to see it. Sorry, I should have grabbed the other one, but this one goes up around your neck. So fun to do, really easy to switch around to. Like if you want that necklace shorter, do fewer bead links. If you want to do it even shorter, you can make it shorter chain lengths. You could do it a lot longer. Maybe you want like a big 36-inch one that goes really far down. Very easy to do. You'll have enough beads and enough wire to make extra bead links. So super easy to customize and a lot of fun. Oh, and Denise is saying I got a 4 foot. 4 foot chain is more than enough. Definitely going to be more than enough. Yay. I like this necklace. Okay, I'm going to make a pair of earrings to match now because this is definitely going to be for the wedding I'll be going to. So this will be a fun one to wear. I always have fun with you guys. Thanks for joining me. I'll be here next week. Becky's here tomorrow. Sarah's here on Friday. We always have such a good time here at Art Beads. All right. Bye, guys. Take care. Have fun shopping Zola. It's so fun. All right. I'll see everyone later. Have a really good rest of your week. Bye. Bye, Piper. Bye, Lynn.